Yo yo yo, this is Sol, also known as SPL Gum, also known as Spatial Gum, also known as Grunt, Paris Team Skull Grunt, and this is Pokemon Masters EX. Well guys, I've been working on this one for the longest time, 3 days, 2 days ago, yesterday, today, and we have finally finished this. Some images were not available yesterday, so I had to wait until today to get them. But now, I think everything is complete. Anyway, so these are the sync pairs that are coming starting tomorrow. Diantha is coming tomorrow. And the others are coming on April. This is an analysis video on their stats, on their skills, moves, sync grid, and whatsoever to help you decide who to scout for. And with that said, guys, I would appreciate it if you would give this a thumbs up right now and subscribe, because these images are not easy to do. I have tried to go a bit more better with these images, and I hope you like them, you enjoy them. And with that said, let's begin. Okay, as you can see here in the screen, Diantha is coming tomorrow. She will be around from March 31. These are Asian time, by the way, Eastern time. If it's Western time, bring it a day back or something. So March 31 until April 21, almost 1 month. And then there are the seasonal spring units. That's spring May or May spring 2021, as well as Burgh spring 2021 will come out on the exact same day, April 2 until April 15. There is Selene and Elio 2 days apart. Selene is coming on April 15. And Elio is coming 2 days after on April 17. They will be around until May 1, but after May 1, they will be forever in Sync Pair Scouts. And then there is the rerun of N's banner, which will run from April 22 to May 19. So almost 1 month as well. So in the screen, you can see Diantha, Spring, May, and Spring Burgh, and N are the limited time banners. So once they're gone, you have to wait until they come back before, being able to scout for again. This is the second return of N, and I think N just arrived like a couple of months before. Was it January, or N just came out very recently? So you can assume that probably Pokefair banners will return around 3 to 6 months in random duration. Meanwhile, you can assume that seasonal banners will take around 1 year before they come back. So in terms of rarity, I would say that Spring May and Spring Burgh are the rarest among all of these. Meanwhile, if you want to spend your gems on Elio and Selene, just use your gems for getting the coins and nothing else, because you want to save up your gems. We're not getting a lot of gems next month. If you are interested in seeing my gem count video, it's very in-depth. Check out the link in the description. I talk about that in full detail. And with that said, let us begin with the very first sync pair, which is Diantha. Diantha over here, I already discussed Diantha in my previous video, so I'm going to just breeze through this now. If you see this screenshot over here to the left side, that is the way Diantha is gonna come out. You're lucky if you see this. You should be happy because you got Diantha. Now, I tried to make this as authentic as possible. Stretch the images. I'm happy how it turned out. So, Diantha is your very first 6-star EX Fairy-type striker that's available in the game. Again, 6-star EX Fairy-type striker that will be available in the game. And if you give her, or if you make her 6-star EX, her sync move will be able to hit everyone. She has some interesting passive skills, very ordinary moves though. There's Dazzling Gleam and Moonblast, which is very typical The thing about her passive skill is Hit the Gas 5. A lot of people are still confused about this one. Hit the Gas 5 basically increases every single move gauge requirement by 1. So, Dazzling Gleam normally is a 2 move gauge move. Moonblast is a 3 move gauge move. Because of Hit the Gas 5, and just to be clear, there is no way you can deactivate Hit the Gas 5. As of the moment, there's no skill or no feature in the game that allows an enemy or yourself to remove passive skills. Hit the Gas 5 makes Dazzling Gleam a 3 move gauge move, Moonblast a 4 move gauge move, but at the same time increases your damage by around 50%. So they're 50% stronger more or less in exchange of 1 extra move gauge. So with her speed stat, 254, not the worst, not the best, somewhere in the middle ground. You're just exchanging, you're sacrificing speed, basically speed for power in terms of Diantha. Now, once she Mega Evolves, once you use a Sync move, she Mega Evolves into Mega Gardevoir, and she gets Fairy Power 5. Fairy Power 5 makes your Fairy type attacks hit around 50% harder. This plus Hit the Gas 5, combine them both, your attacks hit twice as much damage as normal. So she is a very, very strong hitter. She has 444 special attack. If you make her 6-star EX, that's 484 special attack. Yep, plus 40. 484 special attack, and it will hit very, very strong damage. Now, in her Sync grid, you can see over here, she gets Dazzling Gleam Super Effective 1. So it powers up your Dazzling Gleam by around 10% more damage if the opponent is weak to Fairy type moves. Devastation, the lower your opponent's special attack stat, the stronger your Sync move is gonna be. Double Down 2, your Sync moves will be around 20% more stronger. And so this plus Devastation plus Double Down 2 plus, I'm not sure if Fairy Power 5 is active with Sync moves or not, but she has quite a couple of multipliers on her Sync move, and that's actually nice. But in terms of her speed, yes, she's basically sacrificing your speed for power. That's basically Diantha. And the way to lower the opponent's special attack stat, by the way, guys, is by using Moonblast. Moonblast has a chance of lowering your target's or your opponent's special attack stat. And yeah, I'm not sure if she gets on a roll 1 or something. I don't see anything like that in her these notable Sync grid tiles. But as of the moment, the way to decrease the opponent's special attack stat is Moonblast, or someone else who can do that. Snarl, or rather you can go for Champion Iris, or you can go for Struggle Bug to lower down the opponent's special attack and hit a lot harder with your Sync move. So I compared Diantha with Palentine's Dawn and Palentine's Serena in my last video. If you're curious and want to see that and compare the damage for yourself or compare their multipliers, check it out. Link, I will put that in the description. But in the meantime, if you will compare her with Palentine's Serena, Palentine's Serena has a lot of multipliers. Palentine's Serena will hit harder, especially with her Sync move. But Diantha, if she is 6-star EX, will hit everyone. Meanwhile, Palentine's Serena, if she's 6-star EX, will just hit one single opponent, but hit with 1.5% more damage. So that's a little thing you want to think about in terms of Diantha. Do you want to hit every single opponent when you're 6-star EX? Or do you want to hit just one opponent with stronger damage? That's basically a comparison between a striker or a 6-star EX striker and a 6-star EX tech sync pair. And with that said, I think we're done with Diantha. Diantha is coming out tomorrow again. If you want to see me try to scout for Diantha, I'm going for 3 out of 5 for all Pokefair scouts. So stay tuned for my live stream if you're interested. And with that said, let's move on to the next one. This is May, Spring 2021, and Lopunny. And their catchphrase or something. If you're happy, that makes me happy too. As you can see over here, we have her stats: HP at 600, attack at 338, quite high. Defense and special defense quite low. Speed somewhere very slightly above average. And she is a normal type sync pair. Before Mega Evolution, she gets Headbutt, she has Potion, she has X Defense All, and she has Hippity Hoppity. Which, let me just check. Hippity Hoppity, Hippity Hoppity, Hippity Hoppity, Hippity Hoppity. Hippity Hoppity, if used by Lopunny, that means the normal Lopunny without Mega Evolution, sharply raises the speed of everyone. If it's also used by Lopunny, also raises your evasiveness by 2 levels. So plus everyone's speed plus 2, Lopunny's speed or Lopunny's accuracy plus, or rather Lopunny's evasiveness plus 2. Again, if used by Lopunny, everyone's speed plus 2, May's evasiveness plus 2. Now if Lopunny already Mega Evolves and you use Hippity Hoppity, your accuracy, May's accuracy plus 1 and evasiveness plus 3. So only Lopunny's or Mega Lopunny's evasiveness plus 3 and her accuracy plus 1. So you have a decision. Hippity Hoppity is only a 1 MP move. Unless you get MP refresh on Hippity Hoppity, that's only a 1 move gauge, or rather 1 MP move. You can only use this once. So you have a decision whether to increase everyone's speed by 2 levels or to increase her accuracy. Why do you want to increase her accuracy? Because once she Mega Evolves, that means once you use a sync move, her moves change. Basically, she loses Headbutt. She gets Move Gauge Boost instead, which is pathetic. Move Gauge Boost is like one of the moves that I really don't like. It's kind of worthless. She still maintains or still has Potion. X Defense All changes into High Jump Kick. And Hippity Hoppity is still there. High Jump Kick is a risky move. It is 90% accuracy, 3 move gauge. And if you miss, you receive half damage of your HP. So your HP gets cut by half if you miss High Jump Kick. So you do not want to miss High Jump Kick. You want to increase your accuracy. So, and one more thing. Her sync move changes into fighting type. So, with this, let's check her passive skills first. Sync Morph basically changes her sync move type from normal to fighting once you use a sync move. Revenge Boost 5, if you get hit, you have a 50% chance of getting 1 move gauge, charging 1 move gauge. Solo Fanfare 6, the moment you use a sync move, your attack stat goes up plus 6. So plus 6 immediately on your attack stat for the first time if you use a sync move. So it's only plus 6 and it will stop there. If you use another sync move, if your attack stat lowers down, if the enemy lowers your attack stat down, it will not go up anymore. Once she Mega Evolves, Revenge Boost 5 changes into Propelling Strike 5. And Propelling Strike 5, the more or if you hit an enemy there's a 50% chance, a very good chance of charging your move gauge. So instead of getting hit when you're still a Lopunny, once you Mega Evolve, every time you are able to attack the enemy, you are very likely to charge your move gauge by 1. So yeah, basically move gauge boost is very redundant because Propelling Strike 5 will basically do that for you. And yeah, that's basically it. Her attack stat goes up to 405, which is very high. Speed goes up to 333, which is also quite high. And let's check her sync move or sync grid tiles right now. She has Life, prevents the Pokemon from being paralyzed. And then at 2 out of 5, you unlock 4 different move gauge refreshes. Hippity Hoppity MP Refresh 2, Move Gauge Boost MP Refresh 2, Potion MP Refresh 2, and X Defense All MP Refresh 2 at 2 out of 5. At 3 out of 5, Endurance will allow you to have an Endure status when you get hit by a move and not a sync move. HP Advantage 3, the higher your HP is, the stronger your attacks are. Impatient 1, there's a small chance of reducing your sync move countdown by 1 when you get hit by an attack. Propeller 1 has a small chance of reducing your sync move countdown by 1 when you use a move. So basically when you do high jump kick or when you do headbutt, there's a little chance of reducing your sync move countdown by 1. Quite similar to Propulsion, but I think Propulsion also applies for trainer moves. Propeller 1 only applies for attack moves. And then there's Ramming Speed. The higher your speed stat is, the stronger your attacks are. And 4 sync move tiles. But let's just observe this for a moment, guys. This is slightly different. You're powering up 2 sync nuke tiles are powering up normal impact. And 2 sync nuke tiles are powering fighting impact. I'm not sure if they changed, but when I last checked, it's normal, fighting. And you know, once you use your normal impact for the first time, it is permanently gonna be fighting impact anymore. I don't see any purpose of powering up your normal sync move because you want to be fighting type. There's absolutely no way to... There's no benefit having a normal type sync pair and having a normal type sync move because no enemy is weak to normal type moves. So just go for fighting type, transform her into a fighting type mean attacking machine immediately and land some damage. And again, Solo Fanfare 2 will increase your attack stat to +6 the moment or after you use a sync move, not before. So after you use your first sync move, probably your first sync move, your attack stat is 0. After you use a sync move, attack stat +6. And that basically is May. We are going to discuss her later and compare her with her little competitors. But in the meantime, we move on first to the next one. This one is very interesting. Burgh and Togepi. Again, also releasing on April 2 and ending on April 2 to April 15. And very interesting moveset here. Metronome, Dire Hit All Plus, Potion, and Happy Colors. Metronome, we were joking with friends, with you guys, that probably Togepi will have Metronome. And yes, it became true. Metronome is a random move. It's a 1 move gauge move, and it uses one of several moves at random. Now, until we get Togepi, I cannot say for sure what's the move pool inside Metronome. It could be infinite number of moves, every single move in the game. It could only be limited to a couple of moves. But in the meantime, again, I cannot drop my final decision or my final standing on Togepi because this is very, very blank for now. This is blank. Dire Hit All, a very good trainer move, increases everyone's critical hit rate +2. Potion helps you recover. And Happy Colors is one nice thing as well, but kind of whatchamacallit, random as well. So Happy Colors raises everyone's accuracy. So everyone's accuracy +1. And then it raises the defense and special defense of all allied sync pairs between 1 to 3 at random. So everyone, I'm not sure if it's gonna be 1-1-1 for everyone or 1-2-3 everyone random, or everyone's gonna be the same, but it's gonna be random from 1, 2, or 3 defense +1, defense +2, defense +3, special defense +1, 2, or 3. Happy Colors can be used 2 times and it's random. But accuracy stat is consistent at +1. And then let's go to his passive skills over here. We have Team Supercharger 5, which is amazing. When you successfully land an attack on the opponent, you have a very good chance of raising everyone's attack stat or special attack stat or both. So it's kind of like Signasuit Blues Team Shout 9. This is Team Supercharger 5. You have to successfully attack the opponent. And then there's like a 50% chance of increasing everyone's attack stat or special attack stat or both +1 when you successfully land a metronomed attack on an opponent. Number 2, Catalyst accelerates move gauges on the allied field of play when a sync move is used for the first time. So use your first sync move, your move gauge speeds up, and it's not permanent. So after your move gauge goes back to normal speed, it stays there. It only activates for the first time when you use a sync move, so it will not activate again. And then there's another quite OP passive skill. Healing Super Hit 9 restores the user's HP when a move is super effective. Now, I was discussing this when I was talking about the data mine with you guys. The chances. What are the chances of you landing a super effective attack on the opponent? Number 1, there are 18 types of moves in Pokemon Masters, or in Pokemon in general. It's normal, fire, fighting, whatsoever. There are 18 types of moves. If it's gonna be just 1 attack per move type, that's a 1 out of 18% chance of landing a special, or rather a move that the enemy is weak to. But let me just bring out my calculator right now. 1 divided by 18. 1. My keyboard is broken. 1. Come on. Give me a sec. 1 divided by 18 is 5.6%. There's only a 5.6% chance of landing a super effective attack if there's only 1 type of attack per move for Metronome. 5.6% chance, guys. That's only considering there's 1 attack per type. Now, if there were lots of different attacks per type, the chances are even smaller. So, Burgh relies a lot, too much rather, not just a lot, too much on RNG. But if you are able to land a special or a super effective attack, you will be able to heal your HP. You know what? He's not even done. Let's check out his notable Synchrid Tales. And by the way, guys, this guy has the most number of notable Synchrid Tales ever. With all the sync pairs that I've discussed since the beginning of the game. How many? It covers 2 different pages. Let's start with the first one. 1 out of 5, there's Clear-Headed, Dire Hit All, MP Refresh 2, Stalwart, Steady Aim, Unbending. Basically, very basic. No need to talk about that. You can read that by your own. Move level 2 out of 5, Critical Strike 1. Powers up moves that they become critical hits. Happy Colors, MP Refresh 2. Again, Happy Colors raises everyone's accuracy and then raises everyone's defense and special defense by random ranks between 1 to 3. Potion Master Healer 1, Potion MP Refresh 2. Team Grand Entry 1. Everyone's special attack stat goes up by 1 at the start of the battle. Team Healing Super Hit restores the HP of all allied sync pairs when a move is super effective. This stacks up with Healing Super Hit 9, guys. So if you are able to land a super effective attack on the enemy, not only do you recover yourself, but you also recover yourself again, plus recover all your allied sync pairs' HP if you're able to land that 5.6% chance or lower. There's Vigilance, you are protected from critical hits. Another Potion Master Healer 1 and another Potion MP Refresh 2, which makes her equal to Skyla as a Potion Slave. Stamina Reserve 6, not a fan of this one. Charges the move gauge by 6 when you are low on HP. Super Countdown 9. Reduces the sync move countdown by 1 when you are able to land that super effective attack. Super Duper Effective 2 and Super Duper Effective 3 powers up your Super Duper Effective moves. Super effective moves. Team Fierce Entry 1 raises everyone's attack stat at the start of the battle. And Team Grand Entry 1 raises the special attack of everyone when you enter the battle. Now, if I'm not mistaken, he also gets another Team Grand Entry 1 at 2 out of 5. So 2 out of 5 and 3 out of 5, you are able to probably raise your attack stat by 1, everyone's attack stat by 1 at the start of the battle, and everyone's special attack stat by 2 when you enter a battle if you choose these sync grid tiles. Now, provided you cannot pick every single one in his sync grid, you cannot do that. But he has quite a lot of choices. He's a very interesting sync pair. And I will discuss him a little bit later again, but he is very reliant on RNG. But if you are able to land that super effective attack, a lot of good things are gonna happen. A lot of good things are gonna happen. But again, 5.6% chance or lower. Would you take that risk? Would you take that risk? Next, Selene and Decidueye. Let's be so energized today that we shine even brighter than the sun and the moon. We got another grass type striker unit. Finally, to compete with Brendan. Now, you start off with a Rowlet with Tackle, X Attack, Leaf Blade, and Stare him down. And once you evolve into this. Oh my gosh, what's the name of this Pokemon again? Rowlet evolves into give me a sec, guys. I failed myself once again. Rowlet evolves into a Dartrix, sorry. And then Dartrix evolves into a Decidueye. Now, once you evolve into a Decidueye, your Tackle changes into a Spirit Shackle, your Sync move changes into Moonlight Leaf Blade, and this is where the things get interesting. Her stats, HP is low, 560 plus. I would consider 600 to be an okay amount of HP. Everything below 600, I would consider that low. Attack stat, special attack stat is quite okay there. Defense and special defense quite low, and speed average. Hold hostage 5, guys. Powers up, if I'm not mistaken, it powers up moves when the target is restrained. This is a new status condition that's introduced with Selene and Decidueye. Basically, you have to use Spirit Shackle to restrain an enemy. Now, restraining an enemy, I don't think it's the same as Trap. Trap deals damage. I'm not sure about Spirit Shackle. Have to check. But if the opponent is restrained with Spirit Shackle, you are able to deal more damage, around 50% more damage with Hold Hostage 5. Hold and Hit 5 has a very good chance of charging your move gauge by 1 when a move is successful against a restrained opponent. And Passive 3 has a very good chance of raising your speed when you land a critical hit on the enemy. So I'm kind of sad that this is not amped up 1, because amped up 1, the moment you land a critical hit, it immediately raises your speed stat by 1. That's amped up 1 is like a better version of Critical Strike 5. Critical Strike 5 only 50% chance. But Selene and Decidueye involves a lot restraining the enemy first using Spirit Shackle. So you have to shackle the enemy first using Spirit Shackle. I think you will be able to shackle everyone and not just one sync pair. You have to use it on every single one and you'll be able to shackle them. I'm not sure if it's gonna be a permanent effect or will it be like Trap, that it will fade over time. But the moment you are able to shackle an opponent, the passive skills and the notable sync grid tiles come into play. And with that said, we discuss 1 out of 5, she gets Haste, Steady Aim, and X Attack MP Refresh 2. Move level 2 out of 5, she gets Inertia. The higher your speed stat is, the more it powers up sync moves. By the way, I forgot to discuss her Stare 'em Down sharply raises your defense, special defense, and critical hit rate. So this is only a 1 MP move. If you use it, you increase your defense, your special defense, and your critical hit rate plus 2, and then gives you a regen effect. So you start to regen your HP, your critical hit rate plus 2 is already enough because Leaf Blade and Moonlight Leaf Blade, her sync move, has an increased chance of landing a critical hit. So basically, you're gonna land critical hits most of the time, if not all of the time, by using these two, Leaf Blade or her sync move. And Inertia, the higher speed is, the more it powers up sync moves. Again, her passive skill, Critical Speed 5, has a 50% chance of increasing your speed stat. So that's how you increase your speed, by landing critical hits on the enemy. And then, if you get Speedy Entry 1 on her sync move or sync grid, you raise your speed immediately at the very start of the battle. I think this is unnecessary. Stare 'em Down, MP Refresh 1. Very, very, very small. I mean, it's only MP Refresh 1 unless you can restart your play. I'd rather not get this one. And then for her sync move, guys, or for 3 out of 5, we get another multiplier on her sync move. Catastrophe 2 powers up sync moves if they become critical hits. 20% stronger probably. Critical healing, 40% chance more or less of restoring your HP when you land a critical hit. Very nice. Hold Hostage 2 stacks up with her passive skill Hold Hostage 5, making it Hold Hostage 7. Extra 20% damage on the enemy when the opponent is restrained or shackled. Ramming speed, the higher your speed is, the stronger your Spirit Shackle and Leaf Blade are gonna be. Restraining countdown 1 has a small chance. Small chance, I think, is 20%. I'm not sure. Of reducing your sync move countdown by 1 when you attacked a restrained opponent. So if you use Spirit Shackle on a shackled opponent or Leaf Blade on a shackled opponent, you have a little chance of reducing your sync move countdown by 1. And then there's Restraining Sync Up 5. Powers up your sync moves by around 50% when you land a sync move on a restrained opponent. I can see lots of multipliers here on her sync grid. Inertia, Catastrophe, Restraining Sync Up, and yeah, lots of multipliers here. She also has regen. She also has a way of recovering herself. Very self-sufficient sync pair. Can work as a ghost or a grass type striker, although I'll probably use her for grass type. And you know, she has regen effect already once you use Stare 'em Down, and critical healing 4 is an addition to her healing capabilities on her own. So I love it. I love it. Selene is quite broken. Not really that broken, but quite broken. Quite broken. And we come to the last one, guys. Last of the new ones. So there's Elio and Primarina. I think it will be a blast to explore the unknown with you. I'm looking forward to it. Guys, I'm not sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the Pokemon League entrance in the game. If this is the Pokemon League entrance, I would think that there's a possibility that this Elio is considered as the champion of the Alola region. I'm not sure. It could be Kukui. I mean, it's very questionable as to who's the real champion of the Alola region. But if this is the entrance to the Pokemon League background, I would say that he's probably the champion, and we might fight against Elio when we do our Champion Stadium Alola region when it's time for that. If not, it's Kukui. I don't think it's Selene, but who knows? Who knows, guys? Who knows? We start off with a Poplio, which evolves into a Brion or Brioni, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, and evolves into a Primarina. And once he evolves into a Primarina, Water Gun changes into Sparkling Ariat, and this is where things get interesting again. So her passive skills over here, we have Propelling. Wait, give me a sec as I check more carefully. I do not want to make a mistake. Okay, Propelling move 5 has a very good chance of charging the user's move gauge by 1 when the user's Pokemon uses a move. This is basically like move gauge boosts, but 50% chance of bringing back your move gauge by 1 when you use an attack move. So your attack move is basically Sparkling Aria or Sing. Let me just check. Yep, Sing also works. So you're able to recover your move gauges quite quickly. First Aid 4, very typical. Once you're slightly past half HP, you get the chance to, or you recover your HP a little bit. Team Inflict and Heal 3 has a moderately good chance of restoring the HP of everyone when a status move used by the Pokemon is successful. Status move is Sing. If you're able to successfully make an opponent fall asleep, you have like a 30% chance of recovering everyone's HP, which is pretty awesome as well. Pretty awesome. But that doesn't end there. We have the notable Synchrid tiles, which, to be completely honest, Elio interests me the most out of every single sync pair in this update. Haste speed cannot be lowered, Unbending defense cannot be lowered, X special defense all, MP Refresh 2. There's Move Level 2 out of 5. Good Nightmare 3. If the opponent is asleep, you hit harder with your Sparkling Aria. Power Reserves 4. Your moves get powered up when you're low on HP. Again, not a fan of this one. Sentry Entry 1 raises your defense at the start of the battle. We've got Tricks, MP Refresh 1. By the way, we've got Tricks. Raises the speed of everyone. Uses a maximum of 3 move gauge slots. And based on the amount used, this move increases all allied sync pairs attack and special attack by up to 4 stats. So we've got Tricks is only a 1 move gauge, 1 MP move. If I were you, I'll use this at the start of the battle and increase everyone's attack and special attack immediately plus 4. And then everyone's speed plus 1. So at the start of the battle, we've got Tricks, everyone's attack and special attack plus 4, everyone's speed plus 1. Then you can use X Special Defense All or any other move if you want. Impatient 1 has a small chance of reducing your sync move countdown by 1 when you get hit by an attack. Sparkling Aria, Defense Crush 4, Mind Games 4, Team Fast Track 4, and Trip Up 4. This is the interesting part of Elio. But this is locked on a 3 out of 5 Elio. But if you're able to get to 3 out of 5, once you use Sparkling Aria, guys, you have a 40% chance of lowering everyone's defense, lowering everyone's special defense, lowering everyone's speed, and increasing everyone in your team's speed. So for all the opponents, 40% chance of lowering the opponent's defense, lowering the opponent's special defense, lowering the opponent's speed, and 40% chance of increasing your own speed. That is what Sparkling Aria does. And the good thing about this one is that it's 100% accuracy, 3 move gauge move, and yeah, it hits everyone. It hits everyone, guys. It hits everyone. So a very nice debuffer here. And you know, don't forget that his passive skill, Team Inflict and Heal 3. If you're low on HP, just try and use Sing. Try to recover on your own. Propelling move 5, basically after you attack, you have a 50% chance of bringing back 1 move gauge. So you're able to attack quite fast with Elio. His stats are quite average. Defense and special defense are above 200. Attack and special attack quite low, but he is a support unit. Speed is also quite low, but with propelling move 5 is quite fast as well. HP is below 600, so that's low as well. So he interests me the most, to be completely honest. Even with not so great stats, I think he has potential. He has potential. He covers the role of Janine, because Janine's, if you have Janine, if you are poisoned, or you have poisoned the opponent, Venom Drench lowers the opponent's attack, special attack, and I mean, not Janine, guys, but if you are able to use Elio plus probably Champion Iris together, oh my gosh, your opponent's stats are almost -6 at the end of the battle or something. So also has Team Critical Nightmare 3, has a moderately good chance of raising the critical hit rate of everyone when an attack move is successful against an opponent that is asleep. So if you're able to make the opponent fall asleep, you use Sparkling Aria, and Sparkling Aria has a 30% chance of raising everyone's critical hit rate plus 1. Team Sync Cure 9 removes all status conditions from everyone once you use a sync move. And basically, that's done. That's done with Elio. Very interesting debuffer. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, and for the last sync pair, guys, we have N and Zekrom. They're already out in the game, so I will not talk about them too much. But again, Bolt Strike, X Attack, Outrage, and Ideals will prevail. I actually forgot what Ideals will prevail will do. If I'm not mistaken, applies the free move next to the user and makes your super duper effective attack to the user if you don't have a sync buff yet. If I'm not mistaken, it's something like that. So at the very start of the battle, N will have a free move because of entry freebie, and every time he uses a sync move, his next move will be free. Piercing Blows ignores endures vigilance. You'll be able to land attacks on the enemy that ignores their passive skills. And then he also gets 6 Sync Nuke Tiles for Bridging Bolt Strike. And if you're able to paralyze the opponent, your sync moves and your attacks, or your sync move will become more powerful because of Static Shock 3. And your Outrage will become a bit more powerful because of Outrage Paralysis Synergy 3. If you have Lesson Confusion A7, 8, 9 on him, you can make use of Outrage Confusion Boon 3, making your Outrage stronger when you are confused. But aside from that, I would go for Bolt Strike, a Bolt Strike build, and I just go for Sync Nuking the opponent, probably using Palantine Serena to paralyze everyone and then hit everyone if you are 6-star EX with a sync move. And with that said, N is coming last on April 22. If you're aiming to get N, good luck. I'm sad that Alder is not coming because it was rumored that Alder will be having a shared banner with N, but I don't know. I told you guys not to trust all the rumors, right? Anyway, we're done with all the sync pairs, guys, and now we come to the more in-depth analysis of everyone. I'm gonna start with Burgh. And this one, again, is a very, very interesting sync pair. Once you land a critical hit, he has Critical Strike 1, which will power up your critical hits by around 10%. And upon landing a super effective attack, you can see these are the passives and the sync move tiles that are available to Burgh. So if you are able to land a super effective attack, again, that's like a 5.6% chance or lower. You have Healing Super Hit 9, which will recover your HP. Super Countdown 9 lowers your sync move countdown by 1. You have 2 Super Duper Effectives, 1, 2, 1, 3, which if you get both, you're able to land 50% more damage. And Team Healing Super Hit 9, which will recover everyone's HP, including Burgh, when you're able to land a super effective attack. Now again, I think Burgh is too gimmicky. He has very, very nice things in his sync grid, but until we are able to use him and try him out, I would say that it's very risky to use Burgh unless you want to use him as a potion slave. But, you know, aside from being a potion slave, if you're able to land a super effective attack, things will get interesting. Things will get interesting. And that's all I would say about Burgh right now. I really like his 6-star EX outfit, by the way. It's pink. And I like it. I like it. Let's move on, guys. Next, I made a comparison for May, Corina, and Wally just because they're all 6-star EX strikers or fighting type strikers with 6-star EX unlocked. We have May was the highest HP out of everyone, granted, everyone, fighting types HP are pretty low. Wally has the lowest HP at 489. These are 5-star stats, by the way, guys. So Karina is a 5-star sync player here. Spring May has the lowest attack stat at 405 only. Wally has the lowest defense. Spring May has the lowest special attack. Wally has the highest special attack. And Spring May has the highest special defense, but it's very, very, very close to the others. And Spring May has the highest speed out of everyone. But stats aren't enough. What's important is that we talk about their multipliers. As you can see over here, guys, Spring May has HP advantage 3 and ramming speed. HP advantage 3, the higher your HP is, the stronger your moves are. Ramming speed, the higher your speed is, the stronger your attacks are. She unfortunately has no sync grid or sync move multipliers. So, pretty sad. There's no way to increase her sync move damage. But remember that with her passive skill, the moment you use a sync move, you're able to increase your attack stat to +6 immediately. So that's not too bad. As for Wally, he has the lowest HP out of everyone and quite low on stats compared to everyone as well, except special attack. But he has the most multipliers. You have Critical Strike 1 and another Critical Strike 1 on his sync grid. And Critical Strike 1 also applies to the sync move damage as well. I tried to set this up on his sync grid. I cannot get both Critical Strike 1, by the way. I can only go for ramming speed, cakewalk, and 1 Critical Strike 1. So just keep that in mind. He also gets ramming speed. The higher your speed is, the higher your sync move damage is. And sync move multiplier, cakewalk. The lower the opponent's speed is, the higher your sync move damage. The way to lower the opponent's speed using Wally is, I think, low sweep or low kick or something like that when he has not yet mega evolved. So the lower your opponent's speed stat is, the stronger your sync move damage. And then there's Karina with Power Reserves 5. The lower your HP, or rather, once you're low on HP, you deal more damage with your attacks. And no sync move multipliers as well. So, based on what we're seeing, Wally, you want to land, you want your sync move to have multipliers. And in this case, in the case of this screen, I'd still go for Wally, but it's up to you guys. It's completely up to you. But if you were to ask me, Wally still takes the bag here in this comparison, because number 1, Spring May, you have to use 1 sync move first, which is gonna be normal type, which is worthless, before she can go to her fighting type. But don't forget that May also has potion. May can help everyone. May has X defense all at the very start of the battle, and some interesting moves that make Spring May special. Wally, on the other hand, if I'm not mistaken, has close combat and focus blast, which you have to increase your accuracy as well. So what do you guys think? Do let me know in the description and let's talk about it. But in the meantime, I don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know who will be the better one here. Next, we have grass types. Now, there are too many, and I did not include everyone here in this list. There's Selene, there's Brandon, Mallow, Signasuit Leaf, Dawn, Lyra, Rosa. There are others, I think. You might even want to put Sycamore in here. There's not enough space, and I did not want to include everyone. So over here, Selene, you know, the biggest competitor to Selene is Brendan, because Brendan is also a 6-star EX striker. And if you were to compare Brendan with Selene, Selene has higher HP, Brendan has higher attack, Brendan has higher defense, Brendan has higher special attack, Brendan has higher special defense, and Brendan has higher speed. Actually, much higher speed compared to everyone. So in this screen, Brendan is the strongest attacker and special attacker. But again, stats are not everything, guys. By the way, check out Lyra's HP stat. It is so high, it reaches 800 something. But let's compare Brendan and Selene in this screen. So, attack move multipliers, we have Hold Hostage 2 and Hold Hostage 5 for Selene. Again, you have to shackle the opponent first using Spirit Shackle. And ramming speed, basically, the higher your speed is, the stronger your attacks are. Brendan, on the other hand, also has ramming speed and has Charging Sun 5. Charging Sun 5, it has to be sunny, then your attack's gonna hit harder. Brendan doesn't have an easy way of increasing his attack stat. I think there's a way to do that in his sync grid, but you sacrifice a lot of other grid tiles for that. I would rather bring out Skyla or anyone else to increase your speed stat if you want to go for the ramming speed build of Brendan as well as Inertia. Meanwhile, Selene has a very nice way of increasing her speed stat. It's already built in her passive skill. I think it's critical speed 5. 50% chance of increasing your speed stat if you land a critical hit. And again, Leaf Blade has an increased chance of landing a critical hit already. There's Sync Move Multiplier. She has Catastrophe 2. Powers up sync moves if they become critical hits. Again, her sync move already has an increased chance of landing a critical hit. Inertia, the higher speed stat is, the stronger your damage. Restraining sync up 5. When the target is shackled, your sync moves get 50% more powerful. Brendan, on the other hand, only has Inertia, making this an easy win for Selene. Selene is way better than Brendan in this round. But Brendan has staggering on his Bullet Seed. Brendan has Leaf Storm, I think. And Brendan has actually been our strongest grass type striker for the longest time. But I think it's about time for Brendan to retire that title now that Selene is out, guys. Personal opinion, but let me know what you think. But let's not stop there. Let's compare Selene with another one, who is gonna be Mallow. Mallow is not a striker, she's a tech sync pair, but she also has a lot of multipliers. Charging Sun 3, powers up sync moves powers up moves if the weather is sunny. Confusion Synergy 5, she has Teeter Dance, which makes everyone confused. When the opponents are confused, your attacks get 50% stronger. She gets Critical Strike 1. She gets Power Posture. The lower the opponent's attack stat is, the stronger your attacks are. And another Power Posture on her move Trop Kick, which increases the damage of Trop Kick even more when the opponent's attack stat is low. Now, Trop Kick lowers the opponent's attack stat, so this goes very well in line. Then Mallow's Sync Move Multiplier, when the opponent is confused, her Sync Move hits harder. There's Critical Strike 1. Again, it applies to both attacks and sync moves. Pecking order, the lower the opponent's attack stat is, the stronger the sync moves are gonna be. And Solar Flare 5, when the weather is sunny, your sync moves get 50% stronger in damage, more or less. So in terms of looking at this, guys, Mallow, I think, will land harder attacks. But, number one, you have to have a weather effect, which is sunny. Number two, you have to confuse the opponent. And you have to lower the opponent's attack stat. Meanwhile, Selene, you have to increase your speed stat. You have to trap or restrain the opponent using Spirit Shackle. But again, Selene's sync move can hit everyone if she's 6-star EX, same as Brendan. Mallow, because she's a tech sync pair, can only hit one single opponent when she lands a sync move, but will hand 1.5 times damage. So in terms of grass type strikers, I'll still go for Selene. But if you want a nice grass type tech sync pair, Mallow is fine. There's also another one, which is Signasuit Leaf. And you guys should probably know Signasuit Leaf by now. I'm just going to breeze through this. HP advantage 4. The higher your attack or your HP is, the stronger your attacks are gonna be. Razor Leaf, critical strike 2. Toxic power, if the opponent is poisoned, your attacks are stronger. And then, sync move multiplier, if the opponent is poisoned, your sync moves get more powerful. Relentless, the lower the opponent's defense stat is, the stronger your sync move damage. The way to decrease your opponent's defense stat is to use her attacks. That's Frenzy Plant as well as Razor Leaf. It has a chance of lowering the opponent's defense stat or special defense stat or both because of her passive skill, Sundering 9. And again, there are other grass type sync pairs with their own multipliers, but they're just too many and I do not want to bore you everyone with all these information that I'm focusing on these 4 popular attackers or grass type sync pairs that can deal the most damage with grass type attacks, guys. So I'm going to the last one, which is Elio. And again, there are too many. I'm only discussing 4 in detail. I'm talking about Elio, Barry, May, and Signasuit Grimsty. I know Hilbert, Chris, Wallace, and even Cyrus and Palkia have their own multipliers with their water type moves. But again, I'm not going into full detail on that right now. But if you were to check their stats right now, I think I made a little mistake with the colors. Okay guys, I corrected it. So in this screen, I combined attack and special attack stats because some sync pairs, you know, don't rely on just on one stat, only relies on the other stat. For the previous charts, some of them rely on both attack and special attack stat. For this one, they only rely on either special attack or attack stat. So for this one, we have this screen. Barry has the highest out of everyone at 420. Elio is the weakest. No, not really Elio, but Hilbert. Sorry. Just ignore that. Just ignore that. Hilbert has the weakest attack stat out of everyone. Hilbert has the lowest attack stat, but is closely followed by Elio. And then as for defense, Elio is the second highest defensive out of everyone, and Elio has the highest special defense out of everyone. The highest speed is Signasuit Grimsty, and the lowest speed is May, and Elio is somewhere in the middle. So again, it's not all about the stats. Elio is a support sync pair. The only other support sync pairs in this list is Hilbert. Chris is a striker, Barry is a striker, May is tech, and Wallace is also a tech sync pair. So keep that in mind as we go to this screen. Again, I only compare these 4 and not the others because there are just far too many water type strikers. And with that said, May and Elio, Elio has Good Nightmare 3 and Power Reserves 4. Good Nightmare 3 when the opponent is asleep, your attacks get more powerful. Power Reserves 4, when you're low on HP, your attacks get more powerful. Sadly, he doesn't get any sync move multiplier. Meanwhile, May has lots of multipliers on her attack, on her attacks. Dizzying power. I think the lower the opponent's accuracy, the stronger your attacks are. Hide and Sync is the sync move version of Dizzying power. The lower the opponent's accuracy stat is, the stronger your sync move is. Power Reserves 4 again. When you're low on HP, your attacks hit stronger. And then there's Surging Sand 5 only for Earth power. When it's sandstorming, your Earth power hits harder. And if it's raining, if it's still, if her Pokemon has not Mega Evolved yet, it's Raging Rain 3. If her Pokemon has Mega Evolved, it's Raging Rain 5. As for Barry, Barry just got a 6-star EX form yesterday. There's Hunter Instinct, there's Power Flux 5, and there's Ramming Speed for her attack move, or for his attack moves. And for his sync moves, there's Cakewalk and Inertia. So Cakewalk and the Hunter's Instinct, the lower the opponent's attack stat, or rather speed stat is, the stronger your damage. Ramming Speed and Inertia, the higher your speed stat is, the stronger your damage. Power Flux 5, the more full your move bar or move gauge bar is, the stronger your attacks are gonna be. And for Signature Grimsley, there's Power Flux 5, similar to Barry. The higher or the fuller your move gauge is, the stronger your attacks are. Power Reserves 2, the lower your HP, or rather, if you're low on HP, your attacks hit harder. Double Down 5, if the opponent is weak to water type attacks, your sync moves get 50% stronger. And Inertia, the higher your speed stat is, the stronger your attacks or your sync move is gonna be. Now, probably it's not fair to compare Elio with these guys, but Elio is more of a debuffer compared to the strikers over here, as well as May, who can also hit everyone. But I'm still liking Elio a lot better. But if you were to compare Barry and probably Signature Grimsley, this is a tough call. And I probably should not decide this for you, but they're both interesting in their own ways, and I think they're comparable. Both ways, both are very strong in their own regard. And with that said, guys, that's it. That is a quick analysis of all the sync pairs we're having. Again, Diantha, March 31 to April 21. Spring May and Spring Burgh, April 2 to April 15. Elio and Selene, 2 days apart, April 15 and April 17 to May 1. And N, April 22 to May 19. Again, too long, don't read. The rarest sync pairs here in this update is definitely the seasonals, and that's Spring May and Spring Burgh. If you pull on their banners, there's a 7% chance of getting a 5-star and a 2% chance of getting either of the two. They also have their tiered scouts, so if you have paid gems and want to get at least one single copy of them, prepare 20,200 paid gems and you'll be able to get at least one copy. If you want to get the Move Candy coins, can get 3 per banner. Just make sure you have 900 or rather 9,000 gems per banner for them. Meanwhile, Diantha is coming tomorrow. There's no Move Candy coins together with Pokefair Scouts. There's a 10% chance of getting a 5-star and 2% chance of getting Diantha. So good luck if you're scouting for Diantha. But we would assume that Diantha might come back within 6 months. Same for N. But it's N's second appearance, and every single seasonal scout is going to come another year, once per year. Meanwhile, Elio and Selene are looking very impressive, and the thing is, if you want to scout for them, Scout for the coins. Scout for the coins only. Do not waste your gems too much on them because they're Spotlight Scouts, and Spotlight Scouts are permanent sync pairs. So they might not appear on N's banner, but once there's a new banner coming on May 2, the two of them will be there all the time. So don't waste your gems too much on them. They are interesting, they're impressive, but they're permanent. Meanwhile, Diantha, Spring May, Spring Burgh, and N are temporary sync pairs. But that's all my analysis for every single sync pair earlier. I hope you enjoyed this. And again, it took me 3 long sleepless nights and days to work on this. I hope you give this a thumbs up and you subscribe if you haven't. If you appreciated my work and you want to support me even more, you can send me a super chat or become a member of my channel by clicking on the join button. Thank you, by the way, to all the members of my channel. There's Shadowfield, So Nicholas, Moreless Gaming, Aryan Sync, Blaze, Johnny Dogs, John9019, Treasure Gamers, Poplio Gaming, Roy Ackerman, Luca, Arima, and Popwad. There's so many of you. Thank you so much for your generosity and support. With that said, this concludes my video. For April Sync pairs, who to scout for? Who do you want to scout for, guys? I'm excited to get Diantha, 3 out of 5. I want to get my favorite type, Strike. Again, for me, it's always Strike, then Support, then Tech. If the Tech Sync pairs do not interest me a lot, I would not make them 6-star EX. If they're extremely strong, like Marnie, I decided to make her 6-star EX. But yeah, that's my opinion, and I'm curious about Togepi. I'm extremely curious about Togepi, and I'm extremely excited about Elio. Out of every, and you know, Selene, if I get her to 3 out of 5, I'm definitely making her 6-star EX because I think she outclasses Brendan. And you know what? This video is getting too long. Give this a thumbs up if you haven't. Subscribe if you haven't. Thank you once again for watching. See you in the next video. Rawr.